Hello dear students, how are you? I wish all of you will be healthy and safe. So student, as you know, your topic tuple is going on. So in this video, you will go through some problems based on tuples. Okay, let's discuss the problem one by one. And I want that you will try to make the programs for these problems first. Okay, then after you can see the video. Okay. Now write a program that inputs two tuples, set1 and set2. First of all, you will take two tuples, set1 and set2, and prints true if every element of set2 is present in set1, otherwise false. Okay. So first of all, you will take two sets, set1 and set2, and then you will check each element of set2 is present in set1 or not. Okay, if all elements present in set 1 of set 2, then it will print true, otherwise it will print false. Okay, how? Let's see. For example, you have a tuple. This is your tuple set 1. Okay, set 1 equals to, you can take a tuple like this tuple, take input. Input the tuple, write down the message here, enter the elements of set 1. Okay, enter the elements of set 1 and split it. Similarly, you can take set 2. Okay, here press Ctrl D to copy the line. Enter the elements of set 2. Okay, so in this way you can take the elements of set 1 and set 2. Let's try to print it. We are going to the correct direction or not. Write down the print set 1 and set 2. Okay. Now enter the elements of set 1 and you see like this. Enter the elements of. Okay. Now your tuples are created. So now what you have to do, you have to check the each element of set 2 is present in set 1 or not. Okay, in this case each element of set 2 is not present in set 1, that's why in this case it will print false. But initially I am taking that, first I am taking status. Okay, this is the variable status. Initially it is true. Initially we are assuming that all elements of set 2 is present in set 1 initially. Okay, now write the for loop. For I in set 1, set 2. Okay, using this statement you can access the each element of set 2 one by one. You will take the element of set 2. Now here you have to check if I in set 1, if I not in set 1, if using this loop you are accessing the each element of set 2, and here you are checking the each element of set 2. What is I is the element of set 2. If I is not in set 1, in any case the I is not in set 1, then your status will be equals to false. Okay, initially you are assuming that your status is true. Initially you are assuming that each element of set 2 is present in set 1, but here if you find the I is not in set 1, only any element of set 2 is not present in set 1, so in this case status will become false, and it okay, after that there is no need to continue the program. So in here you will write down the break keyword. Okay, so now print the status. Okay, now try to run the program. So here the elements of set 1, 45, 85 and 47 and 100. Okay, and elements of set 2 are 45 and 100. So in this case, each element of set 2 is present in set 1. So in this case, it will return true. So here you can see the status is true. Okay, let's return the program again. Now enter the elements set 1, 100, 200 and 300. Set 2, 100 and 20. So in this case, it will return false because 20 is not present in set 1. Okay, so this is the solution of the first problem. I hope all of you understood. Okay, so try to make the program for next problem. So in the second problem, input the marks of 5 subjects of 5 students and store them in a tuple in the form of a tuple. Okay, so in this problem, you will take marks of 5 subjects for a student. One by one, you will take the marks of each students of 5 subjects, and what you have to do, you have to store it in the form of tuple. Okay, let's see. So in this problem, first of all, you will make a list. That name of the list is marks. Okay, and print the message. Create a for loop for I in range. What will be the range? The range will be of 5 because you have to take the marks of 5 students. Okay, so here you will take marks temporarily. Write down the message, print, enter the marks of I plus 1. Initially the value of I is 0, so it will print I 0 plus 1, that will be 1. So it will print enter the marks of first student like this. Okay, and take a temp variable to store the marks of first student, second student, third, and so on. So temp equals to convert it into tuple. So tuple, and write down the message import and split it. Here there is no need to write down the message because already we have written the message. Okay, after taking the marks of student, what you have to do, you have to append it into the list, that is marks. So write down marks dot append what, that is 10. So what I am doing here, first of all, I have taken a list. Okay, it is initially it is blank. So one by one, you will it will ask for the marks of the students. Okay, first of it will initially the value of I is 0, so it will print enter the marks of first student. So you will input the marks and it will be converted into tuple. So after taking the marks of 5 subjects, you will append these marks in the list, that is marks. Okay, so this loop will go to 0 to 4. So you will get the marks of 5 students this way. After taking all the marks, okay, here you have a list, but the problem is that you have to take the marks of 5 subjects or 5 students and store them in a tuple in the form of tuple. So you have to convert this list into tuple. So how can you do? Write down the marks equals to convert your list into tuple. Write down marks here. Okay, so see the difference. If you print only marks, print marks, and here you are printing marks. Let's see. You can see enter the marks of first student. So write down the marks 78, 89, 96, 58 and 70. Okay, enter the marks of 7 student 96. Now you can see the difference. Here it is the list. Initially you have print marks. The marks is initially list, so that's why you are getting the list here. But here you have converted this list into tuple. So now you can see it is a tuple within a tuple. But here a tuple within a list. Here you can see the square bracket, so it is a list. But here you can see the parenthesis, so it is a tuple. So in this way you can take 5 marks of each students one by one. Okay, so this is the solution of your problem. Let's move to the next problem. Okay, so what you have to do in the next problem, write a program to evaluate average of each set of tuple in a tuple. Okay, so here, so in the previous problem you have the tuple within a tuple. What you have to do, you have to find out the average of each tuple. Let's see. So here you can see the marks of each students in a tuple. What you have to do, you have to find out the average of these marks. These are the marks of first student, so you have to print that the average marks of first student. Similarly, you have to print the average marks of second student, third student, fourth and fifth students, like this. Okay, so we will try to make the program using this solution. So here you can, till now you can take the marks of 5 students, but now take a variable count. So it will count the number of students. So initially it will be 0. Okay, now take for I in where the marks is stored. Your marks is stored in this list, that is marks. Okay, now it is tuple. So in marks. So what will happen in this loop? Using this loop, you are taking the tuple. You are taking the tuple. Suppose here, what is marks? So here, this completely is your marks. But whenever you use this loop, initially the value of I will be these marks. Okay. Whenever you use this loop, in the first iteration, the value of I will be this complete tuple, because this is the item of the tuple. This is the first item of a tuple. And in the second loop, you will get this tuple. In the third loop, in the third iteration, you will get this tuple. Okay. So now the value of I is a tuple. So what you have to do, take a variable initially sum equals to 0, because initially the marks, total marks of each student is 0. So sum. So use the for j in I, because I is a tuple. Then using this loop you are accessing the each element. So the value of I is this tuple, but whenever you use this loop j in I, the initial value of j will be 78. In the second iteration 89, in the third iteration 96, 58 and 78. Okay, but whenever in the second loop, in the second iteration, the value of I will be this tuple, and the value of j, initially the value of j will be 96, 58, 78 and so on, and this process will going on. Okay, now find out the sum equals to sum plus. So here you can see the single quotes, it means it is a string, so you have to convert it into integer. So write down the integer what j. Okay, in this way you will find out the sum, and you have to find out the average. So here write down the print statement of print average marks of first student. So here we have taken the count variable to count the number of students. So here write down count plus 1. Okay, average marks of count plus 1 student, and that will be equals to sum divided by 5. Okay, so this is the way to find out the average marks of each student. Okay, let's try to run this program. Now initially the marks of first student 85, 65, 78, 85 and 96. Okay, third student, fourth student. Now you can see the average marks of each student. Average marks of okay. Why it is saying first student? Because you haven't updated the count. So you have to use count plus 1 and you have to take count equals to count plus 1. Now you will get your output. Okay, count. Let's see here, reduce the students, now 2. Okay. Because I have to input the more marks. So for okay, so the average marks of first student. Why it is taking again 1 1 1? What is the problem? So equals to 0. Oh, sorry, this is the count. So you have to write on the count. Okay. Okay, so now you can get the average marks of first student and second students. Okay, so in this way you can find the average marks of each student using tuple. Okay students, enough for this session. So thank you students, have a nice day, be healthy, be safe.